Welcome to Winning Wall Street's Money. Help support my channel. We need to get to 1,000 subscribers pretty much as soon as possible. So then I go live streaming because YouTube policy, they won't let me go live until I have 1,000 subscribers. Thank you to all the folks out there that have subscribed to my YouTube channel. If you have not yet, please take this moment now with helping me. Click subscribe. Next, click the bell. And next, click all. This helps you receive a notification when I post my next videos. Plus, click the thumbs up button and every time you watch my videos. If you got value from this video, if this was helpful, then please consider sharing a small monetary donation to my channel by going below and clicking on either my Patreon or PayPal links. If you join my Patreon page, then you'll get early access to these videos 24 hours before they're posted on the YouTube and lots more. If you prefer just leaving a small tip, click on PayPal. Either way, then you get that warm sense of satisfaction years down the line knowing that you helped me become a successful YouTuber.
Saturday, July 9th, 12:14 p.m. New York time, going over currencies, the currency markets. Just a basic FYI. Currency markets trade on different financial exchanges. And those financial exchanges compete against each other. Those financial exchanges have different rules and regulation. And then not all brokers offer clients to be able to trade currencies, nor do all brokers all necessarily offer access to all the currency exchanges. Let me break that down a little bit more to you. In the United States, we have a financial exchange called the futures market. And the futures market have different financial instruments. One of those financial instruments is currencies. Typically referred to that category as FX, Foxtrot X-ray. And in those currencies, they limit it. They're all pegged against the US dollar. And it's just the major currencies. And they're referred to as contracts more than pairs. There's also options that trade on those currencies. That's beautiful because futures and options are both what? They're both derivatives. I shared that in the past. Okay, well, those FX currencies that trade in the US futures markets, they're regulated, centralized. Yep, that's a very good thing. Then there's another currency exchange called the Forex. It's not regulated, centralized. It's regulated at a lower level, the individual big banks, the big banks that compete against each other, and not all in the same nation, not all under the same nation's regulation. Yeah, that's the Forex. You also have currencies that trade on the stock market, US stock market. All these things may trade in other countries and other countries' stock markets or futures markets if they have those financial exchanges, but I don't know if they offer those financial instruments. But I do know in the United States because I have skin in the game. I traded all those exchanges, all those financial instruments I just talked about, currencies on all those exchanges. So back in the US stock market, as I said, we have currencies. They're called stock ETFs that are mirroring the futures of currencies. Yep. So those companies that created those stock ETFs of currencies, they're actually buying contracts in the US futures market of the FX. They're not buying the currencies in the Forex market because they want to make sure they're buying financial instruments in a regulated market in the same country. Okay. So those exchanges, of course, have different margin sizes or margin requirements. Futures and Forex, they require margin. Trading those stock ETFs don't necessarily require margin. Again, they're different trading hours. So everything I'm going to show you here, or most everything I'm going to show you here, you could trade options on them besides the underlying, as well as the futures I'm going to show you. Most of them, you could trade them as stock ETFs. That being said, this video is going to more over long-term investment opportunities. They don't just happen overnight, sit on hands and wait for them to occur as long-term investments. Day trading, aka scalping, And swing trading, lots of opportunities here with currencies. But I'm going to show you again, let me make that clear, long-term investing opportunities. Let's get started. US dollar index. US dollar index, symbol $DXY. Yep, that's a stock symbol because it's an index of US dollar. But you don't trade this by itself if you don't want to. You could do this as the individual currencies inside of it. This also has a stock ETF, uniform, PAPA. Okay, in the US dollar index, there's several currencies. The three major ones, the three that weigh the most average, the euro, followed by Japanese yen, by the British pound. We're looking at the monthly chart. I think it's really important to look at the monthly chart, top down. Looking at, let's go back a little bit further. Let's click this to the max. What I'm using here is charting platform called Thinkorswim. It's offered by Charles Schwab because Charles Schwab bought the company called TD Ameritrade. So looking at the max US dollar, look at these red horizontal lines. Those are supply zones where there's major sellers in the past. We'll see if that occurs again. But significantly, let me zoom in now. Look at this year. Each low, each monthly low has made higher highs. The trend is up. It's on rocket speed. Yep. That's amazing. Last year, tight consolidation, breakout, and we took out that swing high from there and from there. And currently, for the year, again, the new month, higher high, higher low. And this yellow horizontal, we just tested this month. Again, the current month is not done. We're just not even halfway into the new month. But look at that right there, the yellow horizontal line. And I'll show you the importance of that yellow horizontal line. Just remember, it's impulse. It was an impulse move down when that line was made. And then this red area, again, it's a supply zone, sellers. So I'm going to use a scientific expression and peel back the onion to understand it. When you're in motion, that motion continues till the energy wears out or some kind of activity occurs to reverse the motion. But we know right now, I just mentioned we're making higher lows, higher highs. The trend is up strong. Just like in space, when an object's moving, it continues to move until maybe something deflects it or manually moves it. Well, do you think this is sustainable, this upside? At some point in time, it's going to pull back. Don't know when or exactly what the event's going to be, but I have situation awareness, such as I don't use the mainstream media or talking heads tell me what they don't have skin in the game of what they think because they have an alliance to a certain financial institution or political party. So remember that yellow line, that first one? Well, that was here. That was a big impulse move down. This was a consolidation. That consolidation came from a prior trend down, that consolidation, and then that impulse move down, broke that consolidation. So I labeled that. That meant a huge amount of sellers got out of the US dollar there. So is that going to be history repeat itself again of the price we're at now? Well, we broke above it a few days ago, and now we're trading below it. Again, the monthly candle's not done yet. So I can't just say, yeah, that's not going to happen. That's happening. Well, I know as I see right now, prices are rejecting it. Sellers are on top. Well, look at that prior month. Sellers are on top there. Prior month, sellers are on top there. If they were shorting, when I say selling, it's typically a group of traders on the other side shorting. They were wrong. The market went higher. A bunch of sellers stepped in here thinking they were going to make money on a decline because that's how shorting works. They were wrong. Price went higher. Again, notice the bottom of these candles. Most have no tills or very little tills. So there's more people are willing to risk money to trade bearish. Again, they're wrong. And they are considered some of the brightest minds managing other people's money. Incompetence. Incompetence. Why? Because they have less skin in the game. It's not their money. They make management fees. Enough on that. Let's continue. Let's look at the red zone. Well, this supply zone of sellers, let's zoom in some more. These candles had small bodies, wicks on the top, yeah, even wicks on the bottom. But again, that trend down, consolidation, it was showing that every time the prices went up there, there was actually more sellers than new buyers. If there were new buyers up here, prices should have continued going higher, but there wasn't. So you had a bunch of people looking to sell over here, and every time orders came in to buy, there was plenty of volume to sell. If there wasn't enough volume to sell to match those new buyers, well, then the market maker would be raising the price to encourage more people to sell to those new buyers. And that's not what happened. Understand, what I just explained may be over many people's head. It took a long time to explain that or interpret that for some people to navigate. And that's happened to me a long time on charting, because again, it's manipulation going there. And some people are getting news or charting for some reason, believe that was the price to be buying because they thought buying here was going to bring it higher. Maybe they were listening to the talking heads or some kind of subscription to someone that reads the stars and say, this is the time to buy. Yeah, people do that, past and present. Or something else, somebody that had a reason to convince the most amount of people to buy here because they were the ones selling it. Very shady, but it happens. Okay. Enough on that wild and crazy conspiracy stuff that never happens, right? Yeah, it never happens. So I would not be buying up here, but I'll be watching closely and looking for the opportunities to be shorting. Because when the dollar falls, when a stock falls, when a cryptocurrency falls and panic comes in, they fall fast and hard. A lot of opportunity to make money very fast. Again, you sit on hands till this occurs. Okay, now let's look at the currencies. Most of the currencies, they're inside the US dollar. And we're going to use that in the futures markets, which I mentioned. And the futures market will be opening Sunday night, 6 p.m. New York time. Looking at the euro, I mentioned that's one of the 3 largest currencies, which is the largest currency in the US dollar. Again, monthly charts, look at the history of the euro. So many places it's been, a lot of price levels. The current trend is down. The current trend, let me make it real clear. For the max that I have all the way from back here, because my broker, that's the data feed that provided me here, 2003, we're at a new low. So we're at the low. Can it go lower? Absolutely. But I'll be looking at the opportunities to buy it. So waiting for the opportunity to come, you have to be buying it. So this current month, look at that, broke out this consolidation down. So here we have that huge candle down. I labeled the midpoint, that gray area, has not retested it yet. The green candle and yellow candle. I also labeled the supply zone on top. I just didn't make it red, but it's labeled there gray. So I know that's a potential price. If it goes up, potential sellers up there. Well, here, I knew there was demand zone buyers stepping in, but I used caution. And this month we broke below it, made a lower low. So thank goodness I didn't buy anything yet. But again, a bunch of buyers are stepping in there thinking that was the time. Some are retail. Retail is when you manage your own money, and some are institutions that are using other people's money or managing other people's money. And they were wrong. Look at that, fast sell-off. Yeah, as I expected, still flush. But look at that. As soon as this flush occurred, buyers are stepping in already. Japanese yen. All these years, new low. Huge trading ranges for this year. First 2 months for the year, consolidation, tiny little bodies, but that was distribution. Smart money still selling. Huge impulse move down. And look at that, third month. Went to 0.08, the red horizontal line. Bunch of buyers stepped in there, brought that huge wick. And then next month, went lower, took them all out. They were wrong. Early in the game, very wrong. And huge sell-off, more panic. Green candle, consolidation. Buyers thought that was the opportunity. They were wrong. Drew this demand zone here, this zone, gray area, showing there's supply zone there. So again, I'm not looking buy yet. And then huge flush midpoint. So now we got a current inside candle. Real small trading range. We'll see what happens Sunday night when the markets open. Because again, there was a horrible event of an assassination, former Japanese leader. Yeah, ugly event. Reminds me of when this occurred in Israel too. One of their own citizens killed their former prime minister. Well, he was an active prime minister. Yeah, I had skin in the game. Not participating in that in either side, but I was living there when that occurred. That was 1995, the summer. Yep. Even went the day after to the events that were in the, well, I think they call it Rabin Square now, where he was assassinated. Yeah, it's very touching. So again, wasn't international. It was domestic in Japan and domestic in Israel. And also when the Lincoln was assassinated, it was domestic. Yeah, there's monsters living inside each nation as well too that do horrible things. Okay, let's continue. British pound. Yep, there's so many funny things I wanted to say, but I'll pass since he quit, the Prime Minister of UK, Boris. Yep, hopefully better things come. Hopefully the people that quit his party won't be running for election either, because then you have a wash and repeat the same thing. Hopefully they all resign permanently from politics forever and start off with new, fresh people that have no direct connection to the current administration, because Ronald Reagan, Daddy Bush, and George W. Bush, they all had many similar people that work in their administration. So no wonder why you had the same bad policies at many levels. Wash and repeat, not good. Yep, I think that was the same with the Clinton administration and the Obama administration, putting the same people, same with the Biden maybe. Yep. So British pound for the year, scrolling down. Look at the bottom of these tills. So big bodies, but the longer wicks are on the bottom. So buyers are stepping in, just like, yep, they're still early. But again, when the US dollar rolls over, at some point, some of these currencies are going to move up much faster. Canadian dollar. Yep, it's not that we're here. Again, British pound. No, it's not the all-time low. See, that was a few years ago. Back here, the British pound all-time low, but we're still trending down into that. Canadian dollar, over all these years, that was the low all the way back there. As well as here, it's here. So US dollar, the Canadian dollar, this is Canadian dollar. Trend up, it's doing a retracement. Yeah, these FX pairs, when they're trending up, that's in favor of that underlying currency. And that means they're gaining strength against the US dollar. So here, mostly consolidation. We had breakout below and long tails coming in, demand zone. Yep. But it's a slow grind down still. Hasn't proven itself to go up on strength. Swiss franc. Yep, it's one of the safe haven currencies. If you watch my past videos, you know what the 3 safe haven currencies are. So Swiss franc, huge consolidation over several years. Broke up, retracement similar to the Canadian dollar. Well, this demand zone down here where buyers are, that proved itself multiple times. Look what it did the past 3 months ago. Touched it, rejected it, went up. Bullish pin bar, second bullish pin bar, now currently inside candle. This inside candle is solid body, equivalent to a red. That's suspicious. Yeah. But which is interesting is, again, demand zone buyers stepped in. Good timing for them. They bought it, and since then it's gone higher. They're making money. Maybe they already closed it for profits. Good job out of them. Or maybe they've been adding into it. I don't know. I don't know those individuals, but I'm just telling you, there were the opportunities. Most people pass on unstanding currencies. Most people pass retail. Most people pass on investing currencies. Most people invest in the fixed incomes, your bonds, and your stocks. Yep. I'm talking about retirement money. Okay? I'm talking about long-term. Trading, 2 different things. But long-term investments, most people are doing the fixed income products, like I said, and the equities. What's the name for equity? Stocks. Well, again, I recommend you including some currencies when the timing's right. Let's go on to the next. And the Australian dollar. It's currently declining. So there's the low, which is interesting. Down there, and 2 years ago made a new low. So we're trending down. Again, it's doing retracement. And made a new low for the year currently. Yep. Let's go look further into the Forex currencies now. The Forex currencies. And this significantly, we're looking at the first, the euro pairs. So again, different is, look at the financial exchange here. They do 6 letters. First 3 letters, followed by / first 3 letters. Well, we already spoke about the euro US dollar. Let's look at the euro yen. And let's put it on a monthly time frame. Oops. Make sure I have drawings for monthly. There we go. Put this on a monthly max. Euro yen. So here, the first 3 letters represent the strong currency. So if the price is going up, that's in favor of the first 3 letters, which is euro. Versus if the price is declining, that's in favor of the second 3 letters, the yen. Understand that with all the forexes, so I don't have to explain that. So we're inside consolidation. That's the high, that's the low of that trend. So we're inside that range, trending up, giving favor to the euro against the yen. Yep, the euro is still gaining strength against the yen. Swing low, yellow horizontal line. Let me take it out. Oops. So again, we got the euro stronger than the yen. The euro, oh, look at this one. This is the euro, British pound, both European currencies, unless some people want to say, okay, United Kingdom is not part of Europe because it's an island. Yep, different things. What's Iceland? Iceland's part of Europe, I think. Don't they? Yeah, it's part of Scandinavia, section of Europe. Of course it is. There we go. Europe, British pound. Yeah. So tight consolidation range down here. Demand zone down here, buying range. So again, this has been proven in the past. Buyers stepped in here to buy the euro against the pound. Now, currently for the year, consolidation went up, but look at that. Lower high, lower low. It's not done yet the current month, but we do know there were buyers stepped in there. So between the euro and the pound, suspicious here. Now the euro and the US dollar, sorry, the euro and the Canadian dollar. So see this long line here? I mentioned this to my broker several times over the past few years. Almost all the Canadian currency pairs I have in my Forex data have this glitch, not my Canadian dollar in the futures market, which is a different exchange. This is the Forex exchange. So again, the broker has no control of this. They can only pass my message over to the Forex exchange because it's not centralized. So that requires all the banks to come together and fix the problem. They have not fixed the problem. So you're going to see this on multiple Canadian pairs. Yeah. Yep, that's a problem. You need less regulation. That's not good. But I'm going to zoom in here. There we go. Euro Canadian dollar. So you can see prices declining here in favor of the Canadian dollar against the euro. Now we're looking at the euro Swiss franc. Now we're on the monthly and the euro Swiss franc. The euro has been getting weaker and weaker, and Swiss franc gaining strength. Now we're looking at the euro Aussie. Yep, also here, the euro is getting weak against the Aussie. So as it's getting weak against the Aussie, just like we saw the euro is weak against the US dollar, somewhere at some point in time, when the euro turns around, look for the opportunity to be buying it, be it against the euro, US dollar, or the euro against one of these other ones. But again, I'll be considering more the euro, US dollar. Let's go into the next. Now look at the second largest currency in the US dollar, the yen. Same thing, I'm going to put them all to the monthly. Already did the US dollar yen. We already did the euro, yen. So let's look at the pound yen. See if I have any monthly drawing still. Yep, we do. Put the time frame on monthly max. Yep, so currently price is going higher, giving favor to the pound against the yen. Not surprised because the pound is getting, the yen is struggling. So again, this price going higher, giving favor to the pound against the yen. But that candle, huge tail on the top, and this candle, huge tail on the top. There's more sellers coming in here. That's giving a clue. Demand zone, supply zone sellers. So I would not be looking to buy up here, looking for the opportunity to maybe be shorting. But I think there's better pairs than do this with because the trading range. Use caution. Looking at the Canadian dollar yen. Again, I mentioned Japanese yen is one of the safe haven currencies. So here we go, monthly Canadian dollar. Canadian dollar beating yen big time. Wow. This whole year, the Canadian dollar destroyed the yen. Very strong. And the Canadian dollar has been very strong in several nations' currencies. Wow, look at that. Currency inside candle. So why is the Canadian dollar doing so well against so many currencies? Look at the assets Canada has. You think it's Canadian bacon? You think it's maple syrup? Yeah, those are assets. But what are some bigger assets that worldwide wants? You think every country, nation wants the Canadian bacon or Canadian maple leaf or the Canadian maple syrup? Nah, it's the commodities of the metals and energy, crude oil and gold. Yep, especially crude oil. Canada has one of the large reserves of crude oil, and because there's demand for it, they're making a lot of money on their natural resources, giving strength to their dollar. Same with Australia. Yep, so when that demand runs out, this thing could go down far. But again, I don't think demand's going down anytime soon. Swiss franc, Japanese yen. Two safe haven currencies. And who's a winner? Swiss franc. Big time this year, huge. Yep. And the last yen pair I have here, Australian dollar, Japanese yen. No surprise, Australian dollar stronger. Again, one of the commodity-based countries, just like New Zealand too. Yep, when commodities are, look at that right here. Sorry, I just got distracted. Huge tails on the top. A lot of suppliers up here. Okay, that's a yen. And let's finish off the third largest pair in the US dollar, British pound. That would be quick. Already did this one, this one, this one. Let's go to the pound Canadian dollar. Don't forget, you're going to price that spike because that data I showed you. There we go right there. Different pair, but this one includes the Canadian. There we go. Prices are declining prices here. That's in favor of Canadian dollar. Canadian dollar doing better than the British pound here. Let's go to the next. Looking at the British pound, Swiss franc. Oof, past few years. Yep. So again, Swiss franc doing better here. And I showed you that one also. You saw the euro and the Swiss franc and the British pound. So apparently the the Swiss franc is doing better than several countries in Europe. The currency value. And let's finish this off. The British pound, Australian dollar. Put on the monthly. Tight consolidation range. Yep, interesting there. So we have major demand zone past years here. And look at the past months here. Consolidation, breakdown, or impulse move down. Small little wick. Green candle made a lower low, lower high, but buyers stepped in there. And the good thing is, if you're bullish, it closed above midpoint mostly. Inside candle, interesting. That candle never broke above below that prior candle. Then July also did an inside candle. Demand zone right down here. So a lot of buyers are stepping in. Are they early? Well, we'll know in the future. And current candle making a higher high. So again, this currency, the British pound, Australian dollar, when the prices go up here, or if prices start going up, that's in favor of the British pound. Under what event would make that occur? Interesting. Yep. Many thanks for watching. And if you like the material I'm showing, the content I'm showing, I appreciate if you hit like or don't. And if you haven't subscribed, I appreciate if you subscribe. Want to be aware when the next video comes up, but you would need to want to hit that bell too. Or if you don't want to, don't. I'm just making suggestions. Bye-bye.